We felt like if we could get some stops and put some things together on both ends of the floor, we could get back in the game. I think Javonte was a big part of that. I thought he was disruptive, defensively. He made a couple plays at the basket, got a 3-point play, got a tip dunk. Certainly I thought he changed momentum for us, got us really back in the game, pretty quickly just with his motor and his energy. And I thought did a lot of really good things out there, to be honest.
Cody, go ahead.
Billy, given kind of where the season's trending now, late here in the regular season, will you experiment with new ideas like playing guys like Javonte more or putting guys in different roles or giving them new responsibility to see what they might be able to learn?
Yeah, I think, Cody, that Larry wasn't right tonight. I still don't think he's fully healthy. So, and then with Vooch and Zach being out, that obviously kind of shortened things. I just thought, like, athletically, we had a hard time, and we needed, some guys just out there in that fourth quarter at different points, because they're a hard team to match up against with their size. And I thought Javonte was a guy that could switch and do some different things. So, again, I appreciate him and Al Farouk, kind of keeping themselves ready, where maybe they hadn't gotten an opportunity to play a whole lot. So, certainly I thought the energy that both those guys played with, both those guys helped us get back in the game. But, like, I'm not opposed to putting guys out there that I think are going to give us the best chance or help us to win.
Darnell, go ahead.
Billy, you guys don't obviously have a lot of practice time. Are you aware? Do you know exactly what you have in Javonte, or are you still figuring that out?
I think it's hard, Darnell, just to sit there and tell you that I know exactly what I have. There's been some moments that he's been out there, and I think he's been good, and he's brought some life and he's brought some energy, and then there's been some other times where, we've maybe needed a little bit more offense on the floor. I thought tonight was a night that we needed defense. We just physically were having a hard time, containing them at the basket, containing them on closeouts. And he's obviously a long, quick athlete. And he's also bright, too. He's a smart player. But I think he knows who he is as a player, and I think he tries to play within the framework of who he is offensively. And, like, he played at the basket tonight, which was great. But to sit there and say that I totally have a complete understanding without any practice and just seeing him in periods of time in games and maybe watching a little bit of film on him from Boston, I wouldn't say totally, but, I wouldn't want to say I know his game totally. But, I mean, watching him, and, we have a lot of stuff on, like, even after shoot-arounds where some of the guys that haven't had a lot of minutes get a chance to play, I watch him, and things he can do. So, I mean, I have an idea, but I don't think you necessarily have a full maybe range of who somebody is, until they're out there significant amount of minutes and you have a chance to see him play in meaningful minutes. And, hopefully he's a guy that can provide some of that for us.
When we see him in this type of setting, I mean, his hustle stands out, but is he more of that hustle type guy, or does he have some skill that you can really use?
I think it's interesting. I think, when you talk to him, I mean, his college career, he was a power forward. He did a lot of switching. He can guard multiple positions. I think he's a guy that spent a lot of time, Darnell, quite honestly, with on his shot. I think it's improved. I still think he can get better. He's got good form. He's got to shoot it more consistently. But I think as long as he continues to work at it like he does, I think he'll get better in that area. But obviously, I think when you look at him, even talking to Brad at Boston about him when the trade happened, just said, like he said, you could put him in a game and, he can kind of just guard, a lot of really elite, offensive players, and he can give you some minutes and he can go in there and be disruptive and kind of break things up. And I thought he obviously did a lot of that tonight.
And just one more for me, Billy. Al Farouk is a guy, I think he didn't play in 16 of the first 19, but then when he gets in these moments, some of his defensive instincts really pop. Is that a guy that you could rely more on down the stretch because of his defensive just smarts and instincts?
Yeah, I think the one thing, Darnell, with him, And I give him a lot of credit because he was, with the trade happened, he was coming on a minute restrictions. You know, he was only inside, I think, maybe 20 minutes he was playing, and he's done a great job rehabbing. He's done a great job keeping himself in shape, and he's a consummate pro. Like, I always feel like he's ready when he's called upon to go out there. And I think, to your point, you know, he's got a lot of length. He's got a world of experience. He's played on some really, really good teams. He's guarded a lot of really good players. But you know, I think from my perspective, the confidence I have in him is that he can guard a lot of different people, and he really understands what he's doing out there defensively, to your point, because he's long, he's got good range, he understands positioning, he understands how guys try to draw fouls. There's not a youthfulness to his game, so to speak, you know, whereas a guy like Patrick Williams is still trying to learn some of those things. You know, Al Farouk's got a lot of those things under his belt already.
Sam Smith, go ahead.
What's wrong with marketing, and also what are you seeing from the team in the sense of, you know, with the losses piling up and now getting, you know, so close to potential elimination?
Yeah, I just think coming back from, you know, when he missed that game, you know, even, you know, on the road in Atlanta, I didn't think he was right, you know, physically. I think he's tried to go. I think he's tried to put his best foot forward. You know, I just don't think he's himself, you know, exactly everything that he's dealing with. It's more illness, I think, than anything else, that he's not feeling great. You could just see him out there, Sam. He's winded, you know, he's very pale. I think he's really trying, but I know he's not at his best right now. The group's been good. You know, they understand, you know, what we're up against. You know, we've obviously had to play 2 games here without Zach and Vooch. And, you know, I think that the guys have competed. We certainly at times labor and struggle to score, you know, certainly with a team like this, it's got a lot of different weapons. But, you know, like, again, I mean, it's the 4th quarter, we're down by 20. And, you know, I thought our guys kept fighting and kept battling. So I think that this is a good group, you know, character group. You know, I would hope that, you know, each and every game we try to put our best foot forward and continue to compete and do the very, very best we can while we're out there.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, thank you. That's all we have.